I want to welcome everybody to the On the Map podcast. I'm your host, Coach Paul. You know that handsome young fellow over there is my co-host, Jay. And tonight's guest is the city section's highly recruited, highly dominating player of the year, Elyjah Staples from Marquez High School. Welcome to the show, Elijah, man. Welcome, man.
Yes, sir. I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad to be on the podcast and, you know, speak my mind.
That's
Get in the
right.
mind,
That's
get in
right.
the mind of Elijah Staples.
Hey man, yeah, right. We were trying to get into your mind last year, and you
Hey,
you was kind of you was leaving us in the inbox, brother.
hey, you know what? It was all new to me back then. Okay,
Nah,
I'm a little
yeah,
more
for
familiar
sure.
now. You know,
Yeah, for sure. But man, you've had a tremendous year. We can't wait to get into this interview with you. We want to thank you for spending your time with us today. Before we get started and I let Jay kick this off, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Never Waver Apparel, Black Market Chicken. If you are not subscribed, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and you know the deal. So now let's get to the show. Hey, Jay, kick us off.
Welcome to the show, Elijah. Let's get straight into it. Team performance aside, how do you think you performed individually this season?
honestly, as an athlete, I feel like every athlete can relate to this. When you like after the season, you always feel like you could have did more than what you like did out there, and you always feel like you could have gave more than what you gave out there. All that aside though, I feel like I put in the work and I feel like I gave my team what I had for us to succeed and make it that far to the championship.
I would agree with that. Before Jay gets on to his next question, man. So we had the privilege. We scrimmaged you guys at the beginning of the year, and I could see from the passing league to the scrimmage, like we had that little friendly banter back and forth. But there was something from the passing leagues to the scrimmage that I really did notice because man, you weren't just being a vocal leader, you were leading by example in passing leagues. Like even if stuff wasn't going your way, like you never took a play off, you never pouted, you never talked back, and you could see that mentality spread to the rest of the team because come that scrimmage, there was a bunch more dogs that I noticed that I
hmm
didn't really notice in the offseason. So I want to commend you for being a tremendous leader, but I also want to commend your teammates for following and stepping their game up to match your intensity, bro.
Now, yeah, thank you. I always try to lead by example. That's one of the ways that I make it known that okay, this is gonna go, and this is how this is gonna be.
Okay.
Nice. Elijah, you brought up the championship. Your team finished 11-3 and made it all the way to Division One City Section Championship. What do you think, in your opinion, made this team special?
What I think made this team special is that I feel like we actually played together. Because I know in the past,
Mm,
Marquez has had they've had some good players on the same team, but I feel like this team, although the skill level probably wasn't as high as teams from the past, I feel like we actually played as a team. The brotherhood was there, the chemistry was there, and I feel like the way we played together, it just, you need that. That's what you need in order to play football. That's what you need in the game. You need that chemistry. You need that brotherhood.
yep, I agree 100%.
Would you say that from last year's team to this year's team, that brotherhood and that bond got tighter?
Oh, for sure, definitely. Like I feel like last year it was tight, but I feel like this year it's like okay, everybody. I feel like everybody's hanging out outside of football, which is one of the most important things, as you know. Like if you really pay attention to football, that's one of the most important things. Hanging out, not just on the field, not just during games, not just during practice, but hanging out outside of football, going out to eat, going out to hang out, just going to enjoy yourselves with each other, building that chemistry. And I feel like that's something that changed from last year to this year.
Okay, I like that. So that leads me to my question, right? Even though the championship didn't go your way, what does that run mean to you now?
It definitely puts a chip on my shoulder now. 'Cause I feel like
Okay.
last year, we didn't really go too far. We lost to King Drew in the first round. So I was still kind of like I was still getting back under my feet. I was like, okay, I see how it's feeling now. But this year, after losing in the championship, it's like, okay, now I got to feel for the game. Okay, now I know what I'm working with. Now I know what I need to do. I know how I need to lead. I know how I need to talk to all these players, especially the returners. I know how I need to talk to them, the new guys that's coming in. I got to learn my way to talk to them. But all in all, it puts a chip on my shoulder. It makes me more hungry to go win a championship next year.
Nice. You mentioned talking to, like, learning to talk to new players. A lot of leaders don't develop like that. That's something that you develop, right? And a lot of good leaders develop it quick. Would you say that that really helped you get through to maybe some of the younger guys that didn't know what was going on or didn't really see the big picture at first? You know, when you're young, you're a little immature. All of us are. Do you think you being able to learn how to talk to them really helped you this year?
Yes, definitely. 'Cause I know there's some guys that's older than me, still acting like,
Okay.
like they younger.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I feel like
Yeah, we get
I feel like at the end of the day, just being able to learn how to talk to them and being able to like, okay, it's time to focus now. This is where we dial in. This is where it's time to get that work in. Being able to like
yeah.
knowing how to tell them that is like I feel like that's a beautiful thing to learn because it helps you succeed and it helps the team succeed.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, that's a great perspective that Elijah brings up. He's a lot wiser than his age tells, and
Yeah.
he has all the great qualities of being a leader. But I kind of want to touch on an award you won this year. You were named the Division One LA City Section Offensive Player of the Year. What does that award represent to you?
It means a lot, honestly. You already know that I would have wanted that MVP. You already know I wanted that MVP, but
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
y'all got it.
Yeah.
Y'all won that, so I gotta give it to y'all. But
Okay.
nah, in all seriousness, winning that it means a lot to me because obviously I feel like everybody knows I'm being recruited as a outside linebacker slash edge.
Yeah.
So winning
Hmm.
this
Yeah.
award really like puts me out there like, okay, he can really play both sides of the ball. Okay, he can
Hmm.
really
Yeah.
go both ways, whether you wanted him at tight end or receiver, like he can. So I feel like that really puts me out there and that really like amplifies my game and how versatile I am on the field.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with that because last year when Jay brought your name up to me and I was like, yo, I've heard some buzz about this kid, but like, let's really see what he's about, right? The first thing that popped up was this dude is a defensive standout. Like he's a
Hmm.
phenom. And then Jay was like, oh, he plays offense too. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
no, he doesn't. No, he does not like that. And he was like, no, he does. And so being able to see you display your ability on both sides of the ball, man, as an outsider looking in, I gotta say, as a coach, hated having I hated the fact that I got a game plan to stop this. But as a fan, bro, that was bro, my hat's off to you. Jay's always spoke highly of you. You made me a believer very early. So a shout out to you for doing that.
No, I was gonna say I like always want to showcase my skill as much as possible. That's kind of why I went up to linebacker because I feel like I mean
Okay.
obviously at edge you get into the quarterback, you getting around old linemen, but I feel like at
Yeah.
linebacker, especially the position I'm playing like the nickel, so I could go down, go up,
Right.
I could do all types of stuff, I could guard. So I wanted to like showcase as much skill as I can, get it out there, and know that okay, I could do almost everything. I could do what I can do on the field.
Yeah.
Facts.
Is there a position you prefer more? Not necessarily the position you think you're best at, but just the position you enjoy the most.
Honestly, recently, or like, not even recently, like I say over the football season, I feel like I've changed because my sophomore year, which is like my first year of high school, or my first year of
Yeah.
high school playing high school football, I was like, okay, I want to be a DN. Like, okay, getting to the
Yeah.
quarterback, that's my game. That's what I want to do. Then this past year, I moved up to linebacker, and I was like, okay, I think I like this a little better just because this quarterback got to deal with me all day. You can't throw on
Yeah.
me. You can't run on me. So it's like I feel like it's better because I get to mess with the quarterback just that little bit more.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Super perspective. Super interesting to see what college ends up getting you and what coach puts you at what position. So just something to
Yeah. As you said, you like moving around and you like doing all these other things. Was there a moment this year in this season when you felt like your game really like it just went to the next level?
Um, I definitely feel like obviously that transition from my sophomore year, that summer, going into my
Okay.
junior year, obviously I feel like that was a
All
big
right.
elevation in my game because that was when I went from DN to linebacker. So obviously I had to learn how to cover. I had to learn different coverages. I had to learn, okay, this is when I go up to the ball. This is where I'm in man. This is when I'm in zone. So I had to learn a whole bunch of stuff. And I feel like that was like that was my biggest jump right there that summer coming into my junior year. I would say during the season, I would say probably after that Rio Hondo game, I would say like I feel like I
Okay.
learned so I feel like I learned that was our first I think that was our first loss. If I'm not I think that was our first loss if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I learned so much about like, okay, this is what I need to work on in my game, and I feel like this is what the team needs to work on. So I feel like everybody elevated honestly after that game because we learned a lot about what we needed to work on, what we needed to get better at.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that for
bring
sure.
up that Rio Hondo prep game. I think a lot of people in SoCal who are high school football fans in general, just not just the city section, they know about Rio Hondo Prep, a school of enrollment of like 180 kids and 80 of them or
Hmm.
like 40 of them are boys, some crazy number like that. I
Yeah.
say all this to say that Rio Hondo Prep in recent years has been really successful. They've won two straight section titles, made it to state titles. They went from like D8, D6 to D4. I say all this to say, how did it feel to play against such a great Southern Section team, and how much of an eye opener was it for you guys? And just to realize, hey, where's our ceiling? How can we compete? Can we compete against these top guys? How much of an eye opener was that for you?
It was definitely a real test for us. I already knew going in because I remember from my sophomore year, we got smashed by them. So coming in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was already like, okay, they coming in ready to play. So, but it definitely, I feel like throughout the game, because at the beginning of the game, I feel like we had it. I feel like we was about to win. We
Yeah.
was ready to go. But
Yeah.
then as the
Yeah.
game went on, obviously they started to wear us out a little bit, and we started struggling. So I feel like that was where it actually opened our eyes. Okay, we got stuff to work on. We really do got stuff to work on a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game. Nowadays, the LA City section doesn't get the same respect as other sections for a bevy of reasons that we won't get into. For you personally, does that motivate you or add pressure to you to, hey, I want to prove that a kid at a city school can get offered, that he can get out? I guess not motivate you or add pressure. Does it do both? Does it only do one of those things?
I would say I would say a little bit of I would say more motivation than pressure, but I feel like it still adds pressure. But I feel like on the motivating side, it's like okay, everybody like okay, there's obviously there's people out there that's like LA City section don't really got guys like that, you know. So that's motivating me. Like we don't got guys. I'm in LA City. You feel me? I'm in LA City section. I feel like I'm a
Yeah,
guy. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's just like I feel like that's like an attack towards me personally, not even just like I guess you could say LA City section. I was like, okay, that's now you messing with my feelings. You messing with my feelings.
Right.
So I feel
Right.
like
Right. Right.
that's motivating towards me. That's motivation for me to really just go out there and be like, yeah, let me prove to you that LA City section do got guys, and this is what we do, and this is what we're like.
Yeah, and you've done that because honestly, you are one of only two city section players with 10 or more D1. What went through your mind when that first one came through? Like, what was your initial reaction?
Uh, I was I was excited. My coach actually got my reaction, so I was
Really? Okay.
you gotta watch it. But I
All
was
right.
like my heart was beating, my heart was racing. I didn't know what to think. I was like, thank you, coach, thank you, coach. It was honestly it was a lot to take in because honestly coming to the school as a freshman,
Okay.
I wanted to play basketball. I was like, bro, I'm a basketball player. That's why I didn't play football originally.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I'm a basketball player. I'm not messing with that, bro. I'm really a hooper. And then I came
Yeah.
out because honestly, sophomore year, I was just like, okay, let me get my feel back. So when the first offer came in, I was like, okay, maybe I'm actually good at this. Maybe this is something I can
Yeah.
actually take to the next
Yeah.
level. That's
Yeah.
that's really where my mind was when I got the first
Wow,
Who
that's
was
a
your first
cool
offer for the
story.
people that don't know? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jay.
Yours.
one. It was Colorado State.
Sheesh,
And
Colorado
it's
Yeah.
good
State,
that
stay in the
it's
city
good that you
section.
bring that up. It's good that you bring that up because obviously the coach who offered you Elijah is no longer there, but he is at Oregon State. So Coach
Mm-hmm.
Finley, if you're watching
Yes.
this, go ahead and re-offer your boy
You know what I'm saying?
at Oregon.
Hey, come on. I would love that offer
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm
And
saying?
something that
Right?
I've noticed is like there's a lot of parallels between, and this is more for the viewers, it's not necessarily a question. Something that I noticed is there's a lot of parallels between Elijah, Chinedu Onyegoro, who was a four-star edge out of high school who went to King Drew, and
Yeah.
Andrew Williams, who just signed with USC and he's an early enrollee. There's a lot of parallels when I say none of these guys came into high school, hey, I want to play football. None of them played football their freshman year,
Oh,
apart
they
from
were all
Andrew.
That's
hoopers.
They
crazy.
were all
That's
hoopers.
crazy.
Chinedu got recruited to play football. I'm sure Elijah got recruited to come play football, and the rest is history. They have one really good standout, high potential sophomore year. Boom, offers come in, colleges start to come in. So it's a lot of parallels between your guys' stories.
Of course.
Now that you say that, that got me thinking maybe more people need to start playing basketball their freshman year and then join the football. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Maybe people
Hey,
need to go in playing
oh,
basketball
Hey,
first.
but you guys are all
here
like
we
6'3",
go.
six
Here we
four.
go. Here we
Ah
go.
man,
We're gonna have
I
the
know you
Hooper
can't
versus basketball football debate.
I know you can't teach size, but hey, put the work in.
And
You get
maybe,
there.
maybe the
You
magic
get you
formula
get
is getting a year of football, basketball
you
in
Right?
know?
freshman
Hey,
year.
there it
Come
is.
on.
The formula to getting the shine and getting the offers. You got to hoop freshman year and then come play football all 3 years after that.
Yeah.
Yep. There we
Yeah,
go. There we
yeah.
go.
Hey, so when did you notice that it wasn't just like little interest that when did it really hit you like, hey man, like these schools are really knocking at my door and, they're really interested in my ability. Like when did that realization hit you and how did that make you feel?
Uh Probably the first time it hit me is when uh I think it was Coach Finn was the first coach to actually come to the school and talk to me and stuff. But
Okay.
a couple more coaches came after that, and throughout that whole process of coaches coming to the school and talking to me and talking to our players and stuff, I was like, hey, I, they're actually talking to me about my game. So it's like it's not like
Yeah.
okay, I seen one of your plays and I think you're good. It's like okay, I studied your film and I like the way you
Ooh.
play. So that just thinking about that, that's when I started realizing I was like, okay, they're actually interested in me and they're breaking down my film and stuff. They like, okay, and then they started telling me, okay, if you did come here in the future, this is where I want you to play. This is where you would be at. This is where we would have. This is where we
Okay.
would have you at. And that's when I started like, okay, they actually got interest in me. They might actually want me.
Yeah. Now, when you had those conversations and as you're having those conversations, are there specific things you're looking to hear to be like, okay, I agree with what you're saying. You're not just selling me to just sell me on something. I could see myself at your school.
Honestly, you know, the the first couple of coaches that came, it was just like it was a learning thing.
Okay.
I wanted to hear what all the coaches had to say. I needed to learn, how were they selling? Because I knew every coach has their selling point, but obviously I hadn't talked to no coaches before, so I was like, I don't know when this selling point is gonna come up. I don't know what the selling point is gonna be about. So the
Right.
first couple of coaches, I was just like, okay, I want to hear everything you got because I'm trying to
Yeah.
get as much information, as much knowledge that I need to know about college football. And then
Yeah.
later, when I guess you could say the later coaches started coming, then that's when I
Yeah.
started looking for, okay, this is the defense we run. This is like, okay, we got these amount of linebackers. We want these amount of guys coming in your class. That's when I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm starting to pay attention to, okay, do is will I play here? Like my will I come in playing? Will I have to red
Yep.
shirt? What type of guys are in front of me? What size are these guys? Are these guys the same size as me? Are they getting
Okay.
guys at my position out? You know, that's when I started looking into all that stuff later when 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 the coaches started coming in.
Yeah. I'm glad you were able to share that with us because there are going to be young men that follow after you, right? That may not know exactly how to deal with the process. So like you said, I had to fill it out. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to hear it all because you had never experienced it. And through your
Exactly.
experience, you're like, okay, now I need to start asking these questions. I need to start looking at these possibilities because at the end of the day, it is my future and this is the next step in my journey in my career. So I'm glad you were able to, I'm glad you said it the way you said it because honestly, that's how it happens. Like you're overwhelmed at first. You're just like, oh, hell yeah, come on in, let's talk. And then you're just excited. And then as you get into more of the process, you're like, hey, I need to consider these things. So I appreciate you
Mhm.
sharing that with us, man.
Now, yeah, of course, any type of knowledge I can give to the young that come after me, even people that's older than
Yeah.
me, you know, if they still need to learn about stuff like this, any type of knowledge I can give them, you know, it's LA City section, it's a
Yeah,
family, so
that's right. LA City section, stand up.
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Elijah, how do you stay focused with all the attention, all the offers, and the elevated expectation that comes with that?
Honestly, I don't know how. At first it was like a lot, you know, it was a lot to deal with, a lot of like talking to these coaches that, you know, I never would have thought I'd be talking to. Um, But I would probably say is like keeping the main focus, keeping the one goal, going to play college for free, you know, going to play college football, going to college in general for free, getting a good education for free. So I feel like that keeps me motivated and keep me on track. That helps me when it comes to like, when it comes to, I guess you could say like the offers and all the attention and stuff, just staying on track and keeping that one goal in mind.
Do you have a bit of tunnel vision, you could say, per se, where it's just I'm gonna put my blinders on, and just focus on me, focus on football, focus on this. Try not to let the noise get to you.
Oh no, yeah, there's definitely, I definitely feel like there's times where it's like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm gonna focus on for this moment. I'm living in this moment right here. I'm not worried about nothing that happened. I'm not worried about nothing that's gonna happen. I'm worried about this right here, and this is what I'm focused on. There's definitely moments like that. I mean, obviously football
Yeah,
season, it's like, okay, football season, we trying to go to the championship. So this is where I'm
right.
dialed in and I'm locked in. I'm not worried about nothing else.
Nice. Okay. Marquez fielded its first football team in 2013, so it's a relatively newer school in general. What does it mean to you to help this put this program on the map?
Honestly, I mean, it's obviously an honor to always like put either no matter what school you go to, no matter how long, you know, it's always an honor to, I guess you could say, rep your school. You know, you could
Okay.
always an honor to put your school on the map, put your school out there, rep what you play for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I also feel like, you know, there's players before me that have also, I mean, maybe not to my caliber, but there's definitely has been players before me that have set that path for me to, you know, make that extra step to put the school on the map. And I feel
Yeah.
like even those players have taught the coaches, okay, taught coaches like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to start treating our players. This is how we need to start coaching our players. So I feel like the players from the past teams, I feel like all that has led up to this moment and led, I guess you could say, led me to do what I'm doing right now.
All right. I like that. I like that.
Great answer.
A lot of like you just mentioned the people before you paved the way. And obviously you have now made your mark. You got one more year. You are very wise at where you're at, Elijah. And my question is to dive into to tap in more into that because you being as wise as you are at this age is going to get you a very long way. So, if you had a message for city section athletes that feel overlooked, like what message do you have for them to to face that adversity and keep going because you are a walking testament that it can be done.
Mhm.
Um, I would definitely tell them like don't stop, because I know at first, because I in middle school, I'm gonna tell this story just so I could like get some background
Yeah,
information. In
go
middle
ahead.
school, I played on a national team where we went to like Florida and won like national championships and stuff. For it was
Okay.
like it's called the Ivy Braves. So we won a national championship. All those guys went to like football schools. They all played football, but everybody was like, "Where you going?" And I was like, "Bro, I'm going to Marquez. That's where I want to go." So all of
Yeah.
them, they all like most of them only play football. So all of them, they all started getting recruited early, and I was like, "Bro, I'm behind. I don't know what to do." Like, okay, no, I'm never gonna get picked up because I'm behind. They already got the players that they wanted. But
Yeah.
I say that to say it's never too late. Sometimes you're not behind.
That's
Maybe
right.
for me, I put it all in God's hands, and I feel like He has put me on this path to be okay. You may have not gotten your blessing right then and there when everybody else got it. You got it later, but I feel
Yeah.
like if not better, you feel me? Because I feel like I've learned so much in that path of seeing everybody succeed, and then I'm behind. I'm me feeling like I'm behind. I feel like I've learned so much about myself and learned so much about like God being in God's hands and stuff like that. But I would tell
Okay.
them it's never too late. It's never too late to you know get it started, get it going, do what you got to do, put in the hard work, put your name out there. You know, I, it's never too late.
Exactly. I
It's
love that message.
never too late.
I love that message. I'll go on my little spiel before we close things off and Coach Paul gets his last little bit in. But man, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that message. Like reality, not everyone's gonna go D1, but there's somebody who will take a bite on you, whether it's D2, D3, NAI, JUCO. Some kids need the extra 2 years to grow physically, mentally, get their game. So just keep promoting yourself. Doesn't matter the section, you're never gonna be you will be overlooked, but one coach will take a bite always, and once you get that chance, make the most of it. I love that closing statement by you, Elijah.
I also want to
Yes, sir.
say that
Absolutely.
sometimes it's not always about playing sports. Maybe you get recruited at a JUCO, but you getting that free education. Maybe it's not completely free. Maybe it's like a partner scholarship, but it's you feel me? It's school
Yeah.
for less money than what you would have paid if you got a D3, D2. It's free school. You
Facts.
always want to get the education. Maybe because football ain't always around. So you got to do something after football. So
Facts.
you need that education, and free education is probably the most important thing you could probably get.
That is
Love
a
that answer, man.
wonderful, that's a
Great
wonderful
answer,
answer.
Elijah.
It makes me not want to ask this, but Coach Paul won't be Coach Paul. And I know it wasn't on the list of questions, but I have to ask. What are you most excited about for next year?
Mm.
Honestly, the grind. I would say the grind, honestly, because
Ooh.
I know get into the championship last year was a tough one. It was we had to go through all these teams,
Yeah.
and that's tough. We had to play the number one seed right before the championship. So it's a tough
Yeah.
one. So next year, I'm looking forward to the grind. I'm looking forward to grinding with my teammates, building a new bond with all the new players that's coming in, building a stronger bond with all the players that's returning. Really, just the football season in general, watching everything come together.
Amen. Amen. I can't wait for this season. I can't wait. I know you're playing basketball right now and you'll probably do track or something like that after. But man, I can't wait for spring ball to start so I can start
You
just popping up and watching. Ooh wee.
what? Man, I can't wait. Man, I can't wait to put some cleats back on my feet. Let's go. I'm ready. Come on.
That's right. That's right. Well, we like to thank you very much, Elijah, for your time. It's been a wonderful conversation. We wish you nothing but the best during basketball season, man. Go get a title, go do your thing as a hooper because we know you can hoop. But we thank you for everything you've done for LA City Section, man. We commend you. Congratulations again on Offensive Player of the Year. Hey, man, to all our viewers, we thank you for tuning in. If you have not heard about, which I'm very sure you have, about Elyjah Staples, Marquez High School, tap into this young man. Any other colleges that have not seen or heard about him, go talk to the 10 schools that have. Look our man up. Let's get this young man to the next level. Free education. Let him put on for LA City section. That's been our time. This is On the Map. I'm Coach Paul. The handsome young fellow is Elyjah Staples, and the other handsome young fellow is my co-host Jay. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Peace.